Go live with Shanti, okay? A request to be in your live video. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Popped off yesterday without a problem. Hold on 1 second. Go live.
Hey y'all, good afternoon, good evening. I wanted y'all to hear my live interview.
Coach, yeah, okay, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. This is me trying to get this right. No request yet. Send a request, sweetheart. It says Shanti Refuge sent a request to be in live video. Okay, so press view.
Yeah.
Go live. People, okay.
I wanted to share my interview.
Press some buttons on your end.
Okay, hold on. Let me get out and go back in because we're having technical difficulties.
It says you're unavailable. Okay, let's take our time. It just popped up saying you were unavailable. Okay, we coming, y'all. We coming. No request yet to join. Hold on. I took the phone off the stand, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to get our guest in.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I came in.
Okay, I hit the invite.
I wanted y'all to listen to this interview that I'm having.
We coming, y'all. We coming out.
We're having
some for the delay.
Technical difficulties. I put
the wrong person and CMOS joined. Nah, I'm sorry, CMOS. What up, baby? I'm trying to get our guest in. Shanti.
And we're having technical difficulties. Hey!
She's probably getting that lipstick right. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all, because the lipstick is right. Hold on. We here. Hold on.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. I got to reset up everything. Okay. All right, I'm here. Hold on. Don't throw that hair like that again. You might get in trouble.
Whoa. Hey, y'all. Huh?
All right. You can hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because I got a microphone, but I never set it up yet. My mentor bought me a microphone. I got to get with the time. Well, let's start all over. If you just come in here and I saw a lot of names waiting, I see a lot of friends. I see my brother, my sister-in-law. Oh, Lord, I see it. So let's start all over. So earlier, I had to take some deep breaths, right? All right, take a deep breath. Let it out twice. All right. My name's Malik, y'all, and I'm so happy and so honored to be interviewing Shanti Refuge. Okay? Her book is called Quiet is Kept. And let me tell you, it is not quiet. It is not quiet at all. Now, this book is not quiet. And I'm going to introduce her. And I want to read a bio, but I want you to hear from her. That's corny. Oh, this person's done this. Oh, she's been to ShopRite in less than 10 minutes. She's cooked dinner. She's counseled people. Let me let her tell you who she is. So tell them who you are. Tell my crowd, tell my friends, and people follow me and your friends. Who are you?
First, hello, happy Wednesday. We finally got it together. My name is Shanti Refuge. I'm a certified mental health coach, mental health advocate, keynote speaker, and author. And I help women preferably, but I help anyone to release, heal, and live their best lives with guided journaling.
Thank you so much. But I think she's leaving a few things out. See that guided journaling, and that is true. But when you read this book, this woman is coming from her heart. This woman has, I'm gonna let her tell you. I want you to tell people how it began, what made you get in the mental health spectrum. It's so much, but we're not gonna keep people on because people cooking chicken, people outside. It's warm here in New York. I know it's warm where you at. So, what made you write this book and this journal, the book and the journal?
I first started out with guided journaling. And that was after I had my own mental health bout in 2018. I had a nervous breakdown. And, you never know what that really is until you have one. And I had one but didn't know it at the time. And what happened, I went a whole month before I decided to go and get some help because my nervous breakdown consisted of being angry, crying, upset, depressed, cussing people out for no reason. I was a mess. I was a mess and I could not control any of my emotions. Like if it happened, it happened and I just had to let it pass when it decided to pass. So I finally went to the doctor to get some help, and I went to my family practice doctor because I didn't know who to go to, So that's who I went to, and she gave me antidepressants, and I did not want no antidepressants. I wanted to know why the hell I was acting the way I was acting. And so I took the damn antidepressants. I did. And they didn't work. They didn't do anything for me at all. And I went back to her and I told her, hey, this ain't working. My symptoms were getting worse to where I was about to lose my marriage. Because my wife was like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to take of this. You got to go do something. So my doctor ended up referring me to a psychiatrist. And good, well, black people don't go see no psychiatrist. We were always taught to, especially us black women, we were taught to be strong,
Yes.
suck it up, keep going, keep pushing, and that's what I had been doing until I couldn't do it anymore. And when I went ahead and went to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist wanted to give me antidepressants too. And I'm like, what is it with these antidepressants? Why isn't anybody helping me to figure out why I'm having these emotional outbursts, why I'm acting like this? So that psychiatrist told me to go see a therapist. Good and got doggone well, black women don't go see no therapist either. If they don't see no psychiatrist, they sure ain't going to see no therapist. But, I was desperate.
What year was this?
This was in 2018, 2018,
2018, okay.
when all this happened. And so within that, it was what, maybe one, two, maybe towards the end of 2018 is when I found my therapist. And when I say my therapist, I went through three before I found one who can actually help me.
Okay.
So just imagine the frustration of having to repeat my story over and over again to different people and to find out they can't even freaking help me. So I was so upset, but I found my therapist, and I had already went to her with an attitude. I say, look, you therapist number 3, you're not going to help me, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what's going on. I already know you're going to leave me like the other one did because my therapist before that ghosted me. So, that wasn't a good feeling. Mm-hmm. And so she told me, she said, no, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And she meant that, and she helped me. And how she helped me, she introduced me to journaling, regular journaling. So regular journaling is, just opening up a notebook and writing. And I told her, I don't want to do that. That's white people stuff. I ain't about to sit up here and write no dissertation about what happened to me. I already know what happened to me. She was like, okay, no, this not gonna work. Cause I told you I was full of attitude already. And so I decided, and she showed me how to do guided journaling. And I'm like, what is that? Guided. Guided journaling.
Guided.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell
And
people what that is.
guided journaling is when you are answering specific questions and you staying on that topic. You're not veering off anywhere else. You're staying on that topic and answering that question. And you would not believe how that helped me. That helped me so much. Just by answering a question she gave me. So she gave me a list of questions. She also taught me, I had a lot of issues. I had issues with low self confidence, low self esteem. I didn't have any self love. I didn't know anything about boundaries. I was all over the place. So,
I'm sorry. I had a moment when you said boundaries.
yeah, I did not know what boundaries were. I didn't. And she taught me all of that. And what she taught me was to work on one issue at a time. I wanted to work on everything all at once so I could get that quick fix. And it don't work like that. You have to take one issue at a time because it is very hard to admit, whoever stands up and say my name is Shanti and I don't love myself, or I don't feel like I'm smart enough or pretty enough or this enough or that enough. And it was just my thoughts that were lying to me. But she taught me how to navigate through that with guided journaling. And so when she did, I started making my own guided journals just for me so that I can continue to work on all the issues I was having. And when I did, I started feeling better. I started acting better. It was like literally taking an onion and peeling back layers. And every layer I had to get to know that new person because with each layer something on me fell off. And I think the thing that most helped me with the guided journaling is that I had reestablished my relationship with God. Cause me and God
Amen.
would we wasn't kicking it when I was going through that stuff, you know.
But let's go back. Let's go
Mhm.
back. So if you just coming in, my name is Malik Sherrod, and this is my wonderful, beautiful guest, author, coach, everything, mother, boss, um, Shanti Refuge, and her book is called Quiet is Kept. If you just coming in, I met her on Instagram. I just kept seeing this pretty woman talking about mental health. I'm like, what the hell is going on? She just kept popping in my feed. So I said, I just kept seeing a different talking about journaling, talking about this, talking, journaling, um, different events she's gonna be in, where she's gonna be at. I was like, yo, she about it. She's about her talking business. She's not no come get rich scheme or come do this or come do that. She's a real person. And when you read this book, you're gonna see it. So what I want you to explain again, you called it guided journaling. So
Mhm.
somebody may be saying, say again.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Oh, somebody may be saying, well, what is she doing? I just gonna write stuff because somebody just coming in. Whereas, I go to like today. I mean, well, every Monday at 2 p.m. You can't reach me from 2 to 2:45, but a little bit longer. My therapist, you looking out for me. Y'all can hear that from me. And I have therapy then. And she has given me, Lord, I'm gonna get the book too. She gave me a journal about 2 years ago, right? I didn't understand it until I got your book. I
Mm.
didn't understand what journaling was because when I wasn't ready for it then. You understand where I'm coming from? I
Yep.
was just still writing down 3 things every day, before I go to bed, or what, some of the good things that happened. I spoke to my youngest son today. I did good at Spectrum today. I was doing that consistently, writing 3 things down, any 3 things that made my day at night. But it wasn't. That's journaling, but it wasn't where you're taking us. So,
Mhm.
like you said, I'm peeling that onion. I love that expression therapists say, unpacking. Oh, I love that because
Yep.
when I go on trips, I don't unpack. I take the dirty stuff out, the clean stuff in.
Right. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, again, excuse me. So, again, I didn't, when I'm listening to you and I'm understanding where you're coming from, but I just wanted somebody who may not understand, like, so I'm just going to go into therapy and I'm just going to be writing. She just said how she was writing down one thing at a time, one problem she was having, and you wrote about that problem. That's just like, you can't see how I got the house looking, but I got an issue with cleaning up. I got to work on that. I got an issue with time. I got to work on that. But we're working on each thing. So let me let you keep going because I just want give a little shout out. I mean, let people know who just coming in because somebody might be on the grill, somebody might be in their car in traffic. What the hell Malik talking about? Oh, this is new girl. What's going on? You know what I mean? So just let them know who you are. But go ahead, Shanti. Thank you too. Thank you so much.
No problem. So yeah, the guided journals that I made for myself had to do with every issue that I had. And once I started feeling better, I was like, okay, I'm good. But then I heard God say, okay, you're good, but what about everybody else? Somebody else felt like you felt. Somebody else needed this. And that was the first time I ever heard God talk to me. Because
Amen.
when I would hear people say God said that, I'm like, y'all lying. God don't talk to y'all. No.
What you said? What God? What you said? What God did? What?
When people would say they heard God talk to them, I would think they was lying because I had never heard it before.
But you did hear him, right?
I heard him. He told me to make
I
these.
gotta
He
put this
told me
on
to
real
make
quick.
these journals. He told me to go and help somebody else, and that's what I do now.
I had to put that sound on disable. Excuse me. You can still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. But I'm glad you mentioned that, God. So for the Christians out there, God spoke to her to help others. That's just a. I love Jesus and my therapist. I made this sign. I made this sign for a little photo shoot I did on my 52nd birthday. I'll be 53 this year. And I did a little photo shoot in my living room. One of my friends took the pictures. But go ahead, Shanti. I'm just,
That's okay.
when you mentioned the Lord, a
Yeah.
lot of people are not going to talk about Christ. You know what I mean? But you
Mhm.
talked about the Lord. But go ahead, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
Oh
Finish that
yeah, I
material
love the
without me.
Lord, honey. He literally heard my cry. It's like I understand all that stuff. I understand it now, and it took me to hit rock bottom mentally in order for me to understand that. So yeah, I decided to take the guided journals that I made for myself. I decided to take them and have them published, mass produced and published. So that's how Shanti Refuge Journals came along. And for the longest, I was just, advertising the journals, advertising them, saying what, telling my story. But I got a hold of a mentor who told me to stop hiding behind those journals. She said, "You need to quit hiding. You hiding." I'm like, "What you talking about?" She said, I'm happy that you made these, but I need you to get up and speak and tell your story. People need to hear it come out of your mouth. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to tell nobody, that I literally lost my mind and I went through this and I had this. And, I listened to her though, because, you can't pay for a mentor and then don't do what they tell you.
Amen. Amen.
So I decided to start speaking. So I was get up on, go to events, mental health events, get up on stage and tell my story unapologetically. I talk about how I was a teen mom. I talk about how I went through child abuse as a child. I talk about being arrested. I talk about getting married to someone I didn't even want to marry. I talk about all kind of stuff. And, it's in my book. I tell it all in my book.
I'm sorry. That's what I was about to say. It is in her book. Let me tell you something. From the beginning to the end,
Yeah.
my book looks beat up from reading it. Like I said earlier, we just tuning in. After I would finish working out, I would go in the sauna with her book paused, and I would read her book like, dudes would be like, "What's this dude doing?" I even had a flashlight sometimes. And I would be reading it. And then when I would come out the sauna from perspiring, I wipe my face and sit there drying off and would be reading your book because I could read in different environments beside home. But I will say this. As I got into your book more, I started reading at home. You know what I mean? I was just, reading it everywhere. When I, was going to a doctor appointment, I would be reading it.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this book, so let's go back to, so were you from Texas? Was it Beaumont? What's the name of the town again?
I was born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, but I now live in Houston, Texas.
You see, I read the book. I know what I'm talking about, Beaumont. I was like, that's a funny name, Beaumont. But man, you live in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
And let's talk about your childhood, how, from elementary, because you don't have to say all of it, but I know it because I read the book and I want people to read the book on some of the feelings you had and how you had to unpack all of that to be this beautiful person you are now. Beautiful spiritually, beautiful mentally, beautiful verbally,
Thank
and
you.
beautiful physically.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was hard to unpack. Initially, when I first realized that I had gone through child abuse, I didn't know that was child abuse. I just thought that was me getting whippings, and that's how it was supposed to be. Until I got into therapy. And, when you're in therapy, your therapist should have you talk from the earliest childhood memory. And my earliest childhood memory was me getting my ass kicked, literally. So, and that's where I started at. And so I had to, face those things. I had to, think about it. Hey, this wasn't right. There's nothing wrong with disciplining your child, but this went beyond discipline. And
Yes.
and that made me have some resentment toward my mom. But through therapy, I was able to confront her in a healthy way. About,
Yes.
hey, you did this when I was a kid, and this is how it made me feel, and this is why this, and this is why that, and it was very healthy. It was very healthy. I'm fine with it now.
Okay. Okay. And that's hard. And
Yeah.
I can speak on that also just for a moment. In the beginning, my mother, now, well, my mother transitioned last year.
Oh,
But
God
even
rest his
if she
soul.
was alive, thank you. Even if she was alive, I'll still tell it anyway. My mother wasn't with this therapy stuff for me. She, oh, Malik, I don't know. And, what you mean you don't know? It's you. I mean, it's me, not you. You don't know. You know, but I knew, Shanti, just like you knew, like, wait, something's not right here. I knew something wasn't right. If I could, I don't want to move all the stuff and turn the camera around, but I used to sit right there early in the morning. You can't see it. And one TV used to be here. And I was watching Wendy Williams in the morning, right? I never forget. I never forget. I just said, something's not right. I felt so, I wasn't myself. And I went just like this. I tell people all the time. I went in my big old wallet. I went right here. I pulled out the insurance card. Right? This is a different wallet, but I always got the wallet with the functions. I pulled out the insurance card. I went on the back and called customer service. And I said, I gave my name and everything. I said, I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to see a therapist. And it
Yeah.
was like, okay, what area, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I gave them my zip code, and they just, you know, lined me up. They was giving me different addresses. I was writing it down,
Yeah.
and I started my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my mother looking at all my medication. So I'm, still on some medication, not for therapy, not for mental health, but for I have lupus, I have congestive heart failure,
Mm.
I have a nerve issue also. So I
Okay.
got all this medication here. I used to take, and somebody asked me this a while ago, and I hope she's watching, saying, "Well, Malik, you told me you don't take nothing." But when I first started, I was taking Trintelex,
Yeah.
right? You're a Trintelex, and I told him it wasn't doing nothing. He wanted to increase it. I was like, nah, like, let's just keep it where it's at. And I don't want to waste the government money because the government was paying for, I paid some of my taxes too, but they were paying for it. So anyway, I went on, and to this day, I'm still in therapy. Thank God for insurance paying for it. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many. But if you're just tuning in, and you may have just tuning in, I'm talking to Shanti Refuge. Her book is Quiet as Kept. I met this woman off of social media. I just kept seeing her posts about mental health, and it was just like, you falling in love with someone. I fell in love with her passion with
Thank
mental
you.
health, and that's my thing. You know what I mean? I talk about it to other brothers. I tell people straight up. Saturday I was in the class on our purpose and what would be our ministry and church, and this wasn't even at my church, and um, I was the only male in there besides one of the facilitators. So I was loving that. It was about 22 women, but anyway, they they asked me like, what was that thing that you knew you fell in love with? And I said it was 3 years ago during the pandemic when a friend of mine asked me, because she was doing shows, and did I want to talk about mental health? I was like, yeah. So she was like, yeah, we'll set it up, we'll do it on Facebook. I said, yo, I'm gonna be home because she lives in South Carolina, and I went home to see my kids that week, and we did it right at a hair salon. Shanti, you cannot, on Facebook, if you hold 75 to 100 people for an hour and a half, their attention, you're doing something. So when I opened up about that, and I got so many inboxes, I didn't know, you know, um, I'm crying, I'm this, I'm praying for you. But one of the main questions was this: how did you find your therapist?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
told them, I said, just call your insurance card. Here in New York, we have 311. They can lead us to someone.
Yeah.
And now we have 988. which is a
Yes.
national number.
Yes.
988 is a national. I had one problem. I'm gonna tell the truth now. If somebody here, I'm telling it. I had one issue with 988 one night, and it seemed like that person didn't want to be bothered. I'm like, they get paid, and you playing with somebody's life. You don't know. Somebody ready to jump off some bridge. But anyway, my other calls at 988 have been wonderful. 988 is a national number, y'all. Just now,
Yes.
988. You can text if you want to talk. You can talk verbally. You can talk about anything. It's confidential.
Yes.
988. And they also have resources and they can lead you to someone. But you need to get with Shanti one of her programs. So let me let you go on. We talked about childhood. Let's talk about how, and if it's not too personal,
Let's
when you said
go.
your wife was like,
I
okay,
want.
your
I
wife
told
was
you. You
like,
got a question. Be ready for the answer.
all right. When you said your wife was like, now, come on now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, stay with you this long, like,
Hmm.
because you were going through a few things and she didn't really understand. Tell me how that transition in, how we back, wife and wife, and we good to go. Talk about that.
I was being a bitch for no reason. I was. I was grumping, griping, fussing, yelling, screaming, cussing about every and anything, and it wasn't even nothing. And she tried to be patient with me. She did, but it's only so much a person can take.
Yes,
And
yes.
there's a point where love is not enough. I love you, but you crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah.
wasn't anything. That's the one thing I never got physical with anybody. And
Amen.
yes, amen. Because I'm too cute to go to jail. But
Come on now.
I never intended on her being a target. But I mean, she's the closest person to me. We live in the same house together, so of course she was gonna get it. But it was never intentional. And when she told me that, because we've been together, what, at that time it was like 18, 19, like 10 years, and never
Okay.
once the thought of even us speaking about breaking up ever came up. So for her to say that light bulb came on for me. I was like, oh shit, she even said it. She's never said it before. Okay, let me go get some help. So
Well,
that
let me
that
ask you
that was
this.
one of the reasons that made me want to go and get some help.
Well, I thank God for her holding
I do
on and,
too.
standing with you because a lot of people don't have that. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't have that support. What can you tell a person who doesn't have that support? What would you tell a person?
There's support out there, and your support may not be the people who you want it to be, like family, friends, spouses, good girlfriends. That might not be your support system. Your support system is going to be someone who is educated in what you're going through and able to, be a safe space for you. If they're not a safe space for you, that's not your support system. And when I say safe space, I mean you can come to them and say whatever and they don't judge you. They don't criticize you. They don't, brush it off like, oh, it ain't nothing. Because your mental health is nothing to play with. And a lot of times when we are having a mental health crisis, we don't know we're having one.
Amen.
We don't even know.
And you said something. A person. So, all right, you said a person shouldn't just push it off like that. Just a month ago, I took I got the certificate. I got both of them. One for juvenile with mental health and
Mm-hmm.
with adults. And that was, you get that questionnaire. What's a good statement? What's a bad statement? And that was a bad statement. Like, oh, you gonna be all right tomorrow. Today
Yeah,
is
yeah, no. You don't ever
didn't
say
say
that to
that.
somebody. No.
Yeah. But with the description you made, again, if you just coming in, I have Shanti Refuge, the author of Quiet as Kept, mother, wife, coach, author. We're gonna talk about May 15th, where she's speaking at in Texas. But everything you said about the person to pour into, me being in therapy, that just sounds like a therapist to me. A friend can do that, but now what I learned, and this is me speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me put the disclaimer out there. I was a business major in school. I am not a therapist, y'all. I am the same way people fight for justice. I fight for justice for mental health. So I'm just getting to put a disclaimer. I'm not a therapist. I'm not telling you to not see one, but I will tell you to go see one because it helped me. But a therapist, such as you or a coach, is someone you can pour into. They don't know you.
Right.
You don't know a therapist. So a therapist is there to listen. Black knows you. Ken Black know you. Adrian know you. Medisa know you. Lisa know you. So when you pouring into that person, they know you. So they can't give you a honest. They can
Right.
give you
They
honest
cannot give you unbiased information.
Say the word. Say
Yep.
it again. You know what?
Unbiased. Yep.
Unbiased. Yeah. That therapist, that 45 minutes of me talking to that therapist, and you said something too. We're gonna get back to that about having to go to therapist, and tell your story. Been there, been there once, just once. Praise God. But see a therapist, y'all,
Yeah.
or talk to somebody
Somebody.
because your
Yeah.
uncle knows you. Your uncle with the rings on his finger and with three car fresheners hanging from his mirror, he knows you. You know, he just wants the best for you. A therapist is gonna help you. It's gonna lead you to where you want to go. And I tell people all the time, it was nothing but Christ, my family, and therapy that saved me. But this is about you. This is about your book. Can we touch on? I'm moving a little bit away from childhood too,
Okay.
and I don't want to give away the book. But can you touch on one of the one of the therapists that was doing some shaky stuff,
Yes.
who was seeing somebody else? I mean, seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
Yes.
This is. I don't want to get too much of the book, but that I was like, when I was reading it, but go ahead.
There is a part in my book where I talk about my first therapist that I went to go see. And, it is hard. If you've never been to therapy before, you don't know who the hell you're looking for. But all I knew I needed was a black woman, not too old, not too young. And the first therapist that I had, she was a little older than me and she was black. I said, okay, I'll give her a shot. And I thought everything was fine with her until I learned that she was seeing someone who I had an affair with as a client. So basically, I'm in my therapy session telling her about this affair I'm having, and the person I'm having the affair with is on the other end, her client telling her. Like she's getting two sides to that story. She wasn't helping us. And how I found out that that she was seeing the person that I had an affair with. Normally, when I would go to her office, I would come in the front like a regular person. Come in, sign in, sit down, or whatever, and have her call me back. This particular visit, she had me go out the back. And I'm like, why am I going out the back? And she was like, because the lobby's too full and I want you to maintain your privacy. Okay. And just something didn't sit right. And so I ended up asking the person who I had the affair with, I said, are you seeing this person too? And she was like, yes. There you have it. I couldn't continue seeing her anymore because how messy is that as a person? That is messy for you to be sitting up here letting me tell you about all this stuff I'm doing or did or why, and another thing that the bells went off is when she told me, "Don't leave your wife for this person because she crazy." How you know? You know? So she kind of told on herself, and I was so mad. Oh my god, I was so mad. I went into this whole different mode because I'm trusting you with what I'm saying, and you now have become unbiased, but no, you're biased now because you know both of our stories, and how are you able to help me? So I had to go report her and, tell people don't go see her. I did. I even had a vision in my head. I was going to take her picture and photocopy it and say, do not see this person. She is not for you. She can't help you. But I didn't. But
But
I
you
did
did tell
report
her
it.
about herself, like
Hell yeah. And I asked for my
she was
money
going
back.
wrong.
I got some
Yeah,
money back. I mean, I did. I harassed her. I did until she gave my money back. I reported her to the insurance board. I reported her to the therapy board. I didn't want her to lose her license. That's not what I wanted. But I wanted them to know what she did to me because that hurt. You know,
yeah.
and
She need
that
to be
was
coached.
unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
Very. And she need to be coached. That's how I look at it,
She
right?
need to retire.
When I spend my say it again,
She needs
say
to
it again.
retire.
Yeah, because that was wrong. That
Yeah,
was wrong.
that was wrong.
Now we don't want to scare anybody also, but that was something that really grabbed me in the book. Like, I mean, that time I was in the sauna. I was sitting there cooking. I was like, I gotta get out. Like, because you're supposed to be there 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm like, yo, that's a conflict of interest. Like,
Yes, very
you
much so.
can't,
And
you
if
know,
I hadn't put two and two together, she'd have still continued to see both of us and would have never known a difference.
exactly, and that's not right. And just if you just coming in, there's a lot of people in there. I forgot how to go. You can see your people, I can see my people, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is. I see a lot of waves. I'm too far away to press it. Like I was trying to show the Mother's Day gifts. I was trying to show my water with a lemon and cucumber and
Ooh,
strawberry.
that looked
So I did
good.
so that yeah. Thank you. Just cut it up and I put some spring water in it. Let it get cold and just trying it. I got some shea butter up here because what I'm doing, since I have a beautiful woman today on May 1st. Listen, May
This is
1st,
the
right?
first of the month.
First of the month, and Mother's Day is around the corner. I'm giving away. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I'm giving away a Mother's Day basket. I'm
Yay!
shipping it. I'm paying for everything. I'm shipping it only in the United States. I'm not shipping it to Argentina or anything. Um, I'm gonna let you give it away. You got to come up with a question or something, and I'm giving away something for men. So I'm not waiting all the way to Father's Day, but I'm gonna give a bottle of oil to men, and men need some shea butter too for their husky
Yes,
skin. So I
Lord.
use shea butter on my dry
Yes,
skin.
they do.
But I don't want anyone to get discouraged. I had in my life right now, I'm going to therapy for oh my gosh, I've been in therapy now. I think I've been in New York almost 10 years. So I've been in therapy for about 8 years. I think 8 years. And I've had three therapists and I've been blessed. One Pluto Water and Beats. Okay. That's my man brother. That's brother Reggie. We went to college together. Pookie, what's good, son? Excuse me. No shout outs. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just saying hi. But Miss Jewel. Miss Jewel was my first therapist, and that center got shut down for Medicaid fraud. That's a whole different story. I've
Oh
never
my
been doing
God.
that.
See?
And then my second place, which wasn't too far from there, where I'm at still, Interboro Clinic, I've had two therapists. Um, and it's very rare you have a therapist for over 2 years, the same one. And I had him during before the pandemic. He was my therapist. And when the pandemic came, everything got crazy because people needed a lot of help. And my therapist left. I was with him for two years and at least 2 months. And I get a call from the office telling me about, I'm going to get a call from so and so who's going to be a new therapist. He didn't get to tell me. My therapist didn't get to tell me. Now,
Mm.
the woman who did tell me, she's a very good woman, Miss Lana. I'm giving Lana a shout out. Um, my therapist is able to get back to me, and he said he's so sorry. He wanted to tell me, and he offered to, if I wanted to move over with him. But the thing was, they didn't take my insurance. And the sliding scale, it was still going to cost me $90 a session. So what God gave me was, it's time for change, yo.
Yep.
And I did have to do what you said. I had to tell my whole story over. And with telling my story, my therapist name is Natasha St. Bernard. She's my therapist, African American woman. We'll get back to that too. Um, we talked, right, and I can't remember. And I'm saying this for a reason. I don't know why. I can't remember crying with my male therapist, but when I was explaining, started telling my whole story over, I just started crying. And she was like, it's all right. I was like, no, no, let me get myself together. She said, you together, you don't have to go anywhere. You know what I mean? We was on the Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, you're fine. And, I don't know where it came from, but I know therapy has brought some things out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy, it was a time where I was talking to my therapist and I was cursing. And I couldn't understand. I just started crying again. I said, Tasha, I can't talk to you this way. She said, no, Malik, listen, you let it out. Get
Yeah.
it out.
Let it
And I was
out.
upset
However
about
it comes
something.
out, you let it out.
Exactly. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized that, get it out, y'all. Don't bottle that up. Lord have mercy. Don't bottle that up, because you bottle it up, you're gonna burst. But wait, you're the expert. You gotta tell it. What's another? There's so many points in the book, because I don't want to keep people on. People. You don't want people attention. I pinned the book. Did you pin the book on how they can order it?
I can't. You have to.
Well, I did. I put what's the name up? The www Shanti Rep Journal. They can order it from there,
Yes,
right?
I can order it from there.
Okay, and somebody in the crowd can pin it too. But I put it up there in the
It
details.
wouldn't let me pin. I tried to pin it. It wouldn't let me pin it. But yeah, you could go.
It went there.
It wouldn't let me do it. You could go to shantirefugejournals.com or shantirefuge.com and order the book. It's called Quiet as Kept.
And one of your friends that you was waving to, they can put it up there too. They should be able to, because I know Facebook. When you have a Facebook page,
Yeah.
I should have asked in the beginning, because we're gonna do this again anyway. I hope, please.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Because we got
Thank
to
you,
do
Miss
it on Facebook
Patrice.
too. Listen, when I was coming home, I was like, and I told somebody, I need to ask her, does she have another device, which I know she does, and we could do both. Because I usually do a lot of interviews like that too. I have two phones, and one with Instagram and one with Facebook, and I'm going back and forth talking to people.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm on TikTok.
Why have TikTok Live?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, we'll get back to it. So we're going to do another interview.
Okay.
We're going to talk more about the journal in the next one, because for people just coming in, Shanti Refuge, quiet as kept. I met her on social media. It was no hookup or nothing, or no hanky panky. It was hanky panky. It was the love of mental health that
Yes.
brought us together.
Yes.
Because thank God for the algorithm. I just kept seeing you.
Yes. That means I'm doing my job.
You just kept coming up, and I'm like, what's she talking about? I'm looking, and she had with some fly shirts. Let me tell her business. Then she'll have a whole different a hairdo, like you had the
Sure
blonde
do.
one time.
Sure
I was like,
do.
okay.
I might be
Remember I said,
blonde, I might be purple, I might be brown, I might be black. You don't know what you're gonna get. That's why you gotta stay tuned.
that's right. And I put in the thing. I was like, I see. No, I made a comment. I
Thank you,
said, I
Candace.
see the new hairdo. Say it again.
I was thanking my cousin Candace. Thank you, baby. So you won't let me
She did it,
pin.
but your cousin did.
Are you able to pin it, Candace? I think you have to, Malik.
Well, they should see it up there in the title. They don't see it in the title, because the details. I saw it. I saw it when we first came on.
Yeah, I can
It's
see
up top.
it, but I can't pin it.
Okay, so I put it. Yeah, I put it in the details.
No,
So
it
I
won't
should be
let
able to pin it.
her pin it. That's all right, baby. Thank you for posting it though.
Thank you. So it was something else. So the therapist. Let's touch on. And you taught me this on the back end. You said when we talk about somebody in the book, which is obvious, but we can't use their name. Talk about that.
Well, if anyone out there is interested in telling their story, tell your story. However, the characters, they are real people. They are still here. And I would suggest you either use a fictitious name or don't use any name at all. I chose to not use any name, especially when I'm
Okay.
talking about people who are still here.
You interacted with.
Hmm.
People you interacted with. You interacted with.
More or less. Some of them,
Okay.
I don't at all, but and that was for my protection, not for theirs. That was my protection, for my protection, to not be,
Yes.
because they will not benefit off of my pain anymore. And that
Amen.
is, and that is why I chose not to use any names in my book. The only name I use is my grandmother's, and she dead, and I would still use it if she was alive. And my mentor when I was in high school, Miss Briggs. So those are the only two
I,
people, and they're not alive.
Miss Briggs, who started the program.
Yeah.
Come
Who's
on now. Don't say I didn't read the book. Come on
You
now.
read that book? I thank you so much. I appreciate you. And when I first put the book out, I was scared to death. I
Yeah.
was yeah. It took me, first of all, it took me a year to write it. I kept stopping and starting and stopping and starting, and I was like, you know what? Go on to write the book. Go on to finish the book. But I was very careful not to use any names.
Okay. So you said it took what? How long?
About a year.
And here's where I'm shamed. I asked you about him before. Ash Cash, he's a worldwide writer, financial guru, everything.
Mm.
I started in like 2019. I went all the way to DC, right, to his class. Got there, beautiful people. You know what I mean? Other writers, about 3 or 4 people have books already in the class. I'm supporting them buying their book, and I come home and I didn't start the book. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be consistent. Like, when you go to these events, you know what I mean? Like, when they come to hear you speak, I mean, we'll get to that. But when you go to these events, you got to come home on fire. Just like the same way, if you work Monday through Friday, you got like tomorrow's Thursday. You got to get up and go to work on Thursday. So when they go to your event on December 15th in Texas, what should they expect? Did you see the way I just said way into that? Uh-oh, you frozen. You're not frozen, right? I thought you was frozen. Okay.
I hope not. Can you see me
Okay.
moving? Now say
Yeah.
that again, cause
What
you
did
was
you
you
hear
was smooth
the
with it,
question?
huh?
Okay, yeah, I came in with it too. What should they expect when they come see you December 15th in Houston?
December 15th.
I mean, May 15th, excuse me, May
May
15th.
well, oh, I'm about to say, something I don't know, but I'll take it. We're gonna keep that December 15th date. Something happening on December 15th in Houston, Texas. I am actually I belong to a support group called Sharewell Now. I started with them in January. They contacted me and asked me to be a peer support group host. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I did it, because, I'm shy. I know I don't come off as shy, but I'm very shy. I had never, I've participated in support groups, but I never led them before. And so when they contacted me and asked me, I thought it was like a scam or something. I'm like, what y'all want with me? Y'all don't know me. But I went ahead and said yes. And so at the end of March, I was asked to be a speaker for their first mental health conference. So the name of the conference is The Future of Mental Health, and I'm going to be one of the speakers. And it is going to be online, and it is free. So y'all better come and get up in there. And the link is in my bio, or you could go to sharewellnow.com and sign up, and it's free. I go on the 15th at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, or is it 6? I think it's 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, and I'm going to be talking about mental health in the BIPOC community.
Tell that the name of it again. Mental health. What?
The future of mental health.
That listen. I don't have any here, but that just gave me some here. The future of mental health. The future. The future of it. Think about where it's going so far. It's going to Zoom. It's going to every commercial now.
Yeah.
There's so many commercials on social media about you don't have to worry about this. I get tired of that because I can't say it because I never tried it because I'm home. What I mean by I'm home, I'm at the same office, praise God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That I don't have to make that transition. So I'm glad I caught myself. Maybe it's for somebody else. You know what I mean? Because you see these things, you don't have to worry about this. You can do this, you can do that. And I'm like, it's not that easy. But they are making it easier now for people. You know, because once the pandemic hit, everything changed. You
Yes.
saw it.
Yes.
Everything changed. Listen, when my therapist left, I'm not gonna keep you long, but I'm telling the fib. And you have to text me your shipping address so I can send you your Mother's Day gift. But um, everything changed. Let me tell you, when I missed, and you know this already as being in the field, I missed, I think, 2 sessions because during that time it was face mask time, and I got my hands on some face masks, and I was out there, I was out there in them shipping streets and shipping face masks and stuff, and I got a letter talking about, I'm like a letter. I'm like, if I miss Edward, I get a call, Mr. Sherrod, blah, 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 I get another call, but a letter. So I'm thinking like, yo, I've been down way before you. You just got to this place. What do you mean? It got so bad. I had to go to another day. And I never had to switch days. The only time I had to switch days was when I took the job at Spectrum, and I was training, till 7
Thank
at
you.
night or whatever it was. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know get people coming in, but the pandemic showed like if you miss your days, you drop. There's somebody else that's gonna fill your spot like that. So I had to actually switch a day because I lost that slot. That made me say, let me not play with these people. You know what I mean? Because I would have to go to my other therapist and pay $95. You know what I mean? That was the
Mm-hmm.
copay.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of place is he at? They giving me mitten leaves and giving me a massage and stuff like that. Let me mention these T-shirts too. I have these T-shirts on sale. This one says, "Therapy is dope. Try it." I did, and this
Mm-hmm.
one just says, "Therapy is dope." This I'm gonna introduce. I shouldn't introduce it. No, I'm not gonna introduce it yet, but I'll tell you offline. I got a new name and everything. Not my God. I mean my parents' given name, but I'm working on something because I want to work with people myself in my community. Just
Mm-hmm.
something as simple as, I'm like, I got to speak in existence, but I was having a little trouble finding a venue that wasn't going to kill me. People need to know you can use the library. Well, I know in New York,
Yes, you could use
you
the
can use the
library.
community room for free.
Yep.
FRII, not
Yep.
EE,
You
FRII
can. Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
You use your library card here in New York. You use your library card. You go on the website. You click on meeting rooms. You
Yeah.
put in your library number, your PIN code, and you look it up. And that's where I was at today. Today, man, it's so many resources. We got to close out because I want to hold you up. Let's talk about resources.
Mm-hmm.
What resources you can tell people that they can do, that they can use to get mental health help? Mental health help.
If anyone
Shanti,
watching,
I love you. I don't
thank
know where that came
you.
from. I love you, but go
I
ahead.
love you. Thank you. I appreciate you. You supported me from day one, so I appreciate you. Um, Mental health
Thank you, Queen.
resources are not hard to find. However, they're hard to find, especially when you're looking for a specific. So, if anyone listening or watching needs a coach, needs a therapist, needs a counselor, needs any type of resources, come to my DM and just let me know what you need, and I will get it for you. If I don't
Thank you.
have it, I will go find it. I do have a source, network of therapists. I have counselors, and they all do different things. They all don't do the same thing, With the therapist, with the therapist, they can diagnose you. So, but if you don't feel
Yes.
like, I would say start with a therapist because a lot of times we don't think we have anything wrong with us. And, it took my therapist to tell me I had severe anxiety and depression, which is why I had the nervous breakdown, untreated stuff. So I would start with a therapist. A lot of people aren't comfortable, but I know male therapists, I know female therapists. I recommend my therapist who helped me. She was the first
Amen.
one that I said, "Hey, can I recommend you in case anyone?" She was like, "Yes." So yes, I have, I have doctors that I can refer you to, black doctors. I'm building my network so that I can help others because, some of us aren't easy to find. or affordable.
Yeah.
Price is
Yeah.
not an
Yeah.
issue. A lot of the people that I network with, they work with your budget if you don't have insurance. So all you have to do is open your mouth and ask. You know,
Closed mouth don't get fed.
absolutely.
But I keep saying I'm not gonna keep you long. I gotta ask you
Come
this,
on,
right?
let's go.
Okay, this is something you said African American therapist, right?
Hmm.
So my first therapist, Miss Jules, I forgot Miss Jules' last name, African American woman. She was at the place that got closed down.
Hmm.
My next therapist, I thought was Spanish. His name, I'm gonna say his name. He doesn't work at my company anymore. Child, excuse me, pause. He got his own place now. But anyway, I Googled him. He has his own practice. I said the pandemic was good to people.
Yeah.
Please don't think I'm pocket watching. Please don't think I'm pocket watching. But anyway, um, his name is Edward Nepo. He was at Interborough Clinic, where I go to. New Yorkers, my clinic is on Flatlands Avenue, right down the street from my. I'm sorry I can't get in my phone because it's on there right now. But Google Interborough Clinic, Flatlands Avenue in Brooklyn, in Canarsie. When you dial a number, just hit 0, and it's going to connect you to an operator. Tell them you want to see Natasha. You got to do the intake process. But anyway, I thought he was Spanish. Edward is Russian.
Oh.
I'm like, how the hell did I make a mistake from Spanish to Russian? But me, I always hear, get an African American therapist, and it's a cultural thing. You know, 'cause I got a
It is.
close friend where the therapist, she needs a therapist that understands the Holy Spirit. When she talks about the Holy Spirit told her this, the therapist looked at her like she was crazy.
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
I've been blessed to have people, but then the other person may not have it. Because remember, you had to go through something, And
Yes.
let's let our listeners know you may have to go through something to find the right one. You don't go to the same shoe store all the time. I do
Right.
because I got
Right.
big feet, and I go to DXL. I'm giving them a plug because I wear big feet, wide feet. But you don't go. You don't. I go to Aldi sometimes to get my salmon because it's cheaper. And then I go to
Mm-hmm.
ShopRite to get some of my other stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're gonna have to shop around.
Yeah.
If you want that person to help you, you may have to shop around.
Yes, you
On
do.
my
You better
end,
shop around. It's
yeah,
not a therapist isn't one size fit all. And you want to do your research. You don't want to just you know go through Google and pick the first one that come up. The first one that come up
because
probably pay for that spot to be the first one to
yes,
come up. So you do
yes,
your research. You ask for references. If they don't want to give you no references, red flag. If they don't want to give you any background, red flag. You have to vet. You have to stalk whoever it is that
yes,
you are choosing. And I always tell people to find someone who looks like you. And I say that because how are you gonna talk to Becky about growing up with no lights and going to bed cold and pissy or whatever, and Becky come from the Hamptons? You know, she ain't gonna understand that. So you want to talk to
it's
someone who has been there where you are and who has overcome things. And like I tell people who come to me, yeah, therapy helps. It does. Go to therapy. But you have to remember that when you find a therapist, use your discernment. If it don't feel right that first visit, don't you go back. Your therapist works for you, not the other way around. You can fire your therapist at any moment and go get you another one. You don't
that's
have to
right.
feel obligated to stay with that one person. You fire that
Now let's go
person.
back. Now you use your church word and you use your vocabulary when you said discernment.
Hmm.
Tell them what discernment mean now.
Listen to your gut. If your gut telling you something ain't right, listen to your gut. That ain't gas. That's discernment.
That, that,
That is your stomach saying,
that's the
get out
church.
of here. Quit talking to this person. They not the one. Yeah, listen to that. Listen, trust your gut. A lot of us, especially women, we do not trust our gut when it comes to things. Like, oh, trust your intuition. Trust it. It's never gonna lie to you. And if your gut is telling you that's not your therapist, that ain't your therapist. Or
I'm glad
maybe
you said that, and
or maybe that
and
is
I
your therapist and now you're in a different place and that no longer is your therapist. That's fine. It's like a relationship. It's like dating. You know, the same way you would date someone, get to know them, same way in therapy. And unfortunately, if your first pick doesn't work out, you're going to have to tell your story over again to somebody else. And if you want the
and be
help that you
prepared.
say you're wanting, then you are willing to do whatever you need to do to get the help, which means repeating yourself over and over and over, getting mad over and over, crying over and over, because you're going to do all of that.
And all of that is going to help you get to
Yeah.
where you need to get to. Because again, until I opened up, I wasn't myself. This person that you see right now, um, oh Jesus, 2000, 2014, 15, no, 13, excuse me. I wasn't this person. When I came back to Brooklyn, where I live, East New York, the cats, they knew something was wrong. They knew, I had some health conditions, but they said it like, nah, Mo not the same person. When I went to church and I saw people from New York, I mean that I knew, before I left for South Carolina to
Mm-hmm.
go to school. My backstory is I went to school in South Carolina. I ended up staying, getting married, kids, business, and everything, and I stayed there. But when things didn't work out after a year, I lived in Orangeburg, South Carolina, 21 years. I lived in Charlotte 2 years. I went through a divorce, um, and it wasn't, my ex-wife or anything. It was me after the divorce. It was me who went down that hole I shouldn't have went down. So I don't put anything on them or,
Right.
ex. Not. I don't put nothing on that person. She's a good person, good person. All my, and I'm gonna say it too. All my kids' mothers, because I have an ex-wife and I had two children before my marriage, and all of them, all of them are good mothers. All three of them. Two are educators, and one has a. I'm not gonna tell her this, but one has a regular job. And I have a college graduate,
There
oldest
you
one.
go.
I have my second daughter, second oldest. She's in college. My third oldest, my youngest daughter, she's in college, and I have a high school student. So I thank God for them. They're there in the Carolinas and Atlanta.
Mm.
So it's
Mm.
nothing but God's grace and them women taking care of them. Hallelujah! I just had to say that.
That's
But
all right. Amen.
amen. But let's go right back real quick. And you just strike a nerve with me, but I'm so happy that you said that because I didn't have a problem with the Russian therapist. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I didn't, and then I had two female therapists. And when I hear find a black therapist, so it just took you to bring it in turn because some people just not gonna understand certain things. My
Right.
barber just checked in. Derek, my barber in Orangeburg, South Carolina. D, I love you. I'm sorry, no shout outs. We doing mental health and
You better
prevention.
shout your people out. Shout your people out.
Thank you. That's my man D. Aphrodisiac Barbershop, Orangeburg, South Carolina. But I didn't have that problem, but it's true. Some people may not understand you. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
You know, I saw how I grew in mental health from my therapist asking me, when he's walking me out. So what's for dinner tonight, Curtis? Spanish or Chinese? Because I was working at AutoZone. I even took a job that I was delivering parts, but God brought me. Hey, I'm sorry. God brought me
Uh-uh.
back to me. I was
Yes.
delivering parts. When I saw people, I was shamed, Shanti. I was shamed. You
Why?
understand what I'm saying? Like, cause I didn't want to be back here. I was that dude in Carolina. I was that dude in New York. I was that dude in Carolina. But I came back on delivering parts. I'm sorry, y'all. Now I'm getting emotional. You done started it, but I saw my
Let's
growth.
go.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I saw when I started talking more. I saw where I had a birthday party, right? And people was laughing. They was like, yo, people in New York was like, yo, where the matriarch at? I was like, oh, in South Carolina. They was like, nigga. Like, you get ready to turn into a party. Excuse me, my son is. But I went and had a watch out. I was, but anyway, I ended up having a birthday party in South Carolina. where I left.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I just felt myself, getting back to myself. Because I was like this before. I was on the bus, no car. I left a brand new car there, Ford Fusion. I left a Suburban there. My mommy came to get me. She said, Malik, come on. You're not doing nothing. You just sitting there. I wasn't answering my phone. I wasn't eating. I was about as big as this Mother's Day balloon. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Wow.
eating. I wasn't doing nothing. But I thank and praise God for Esther Sherrod. She got me out of there, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. She rented a Maxima or something, and I just bought on. I left the furniture in the apartment, right? I had a one-bedroom apartment because the kids were younger then, so I got a bunk bed to them because I would have them every weekend. And I slept on a futon, my big ass. And I left the world in Charlotte, but I came back and God gave it back.
Yes,
And I
that's
say
how
it
it
all the time.
works.
It was nothing but God. It was nothing but my family, my mommy, and my sister praying for me in church. So, again, I thank God for you for taking the time out. Not noticing I'm not no job time turkey. And doing this interview with me. I want to have more.
Let's do
I'm gonna
it.
let you talk now because yeah, I I want I have so much to say now because you done got me hyped. I want to keep people low, but just telling people may just be coming in and just coming in what journaling can do for them. Guided
Journaling,
journal.
guided journaling can save your life. It can. I know it because it saved mine. It saved me my freedom. It saved me, my marriage. It saved my job. And, now it is a business. I never intended on going into business, ever. Especially not for mental health. I was concerned about mental health, but now, shit, I am mental health. You know,
Come
I,
on now. Come on.
I
Come on.
am.
That's the part.
you know,
Release your mental
I
health. That's right.
I will
Release
shout
your
it
mental
from
health.
the mountaintops. Journal. Get in your journal. You say you can't afford to see a therapist. Buy a damn journal. We spend money on what we want to spend money on. And a
Say it
journal,
one more time.
we spend money on what we want to spend money on. But what about your needs? You need to take care of your mental health. Just like I hope you go to the doctor annually to get a checkup. You need a mental checkup. You do.
That's right.
You need a
That's
mental
right.
checkup. Even if you just go once a year, go and get checked. It is necessary.
Yes.
It is very necessary because if you don't take care of your mind, whatever's wrong with you mentally, it will come out to you physically. It will come out in a
That's
physical
right.
form.
That's right. Look, my man just wrote something. My man, brother Reggie. That's my brother from spring 1993 at South Carolina State University. Let me say something real quick. That's gonna blow his mind. Pookie, we call the Pookie and Reg.
Hey,
When you
Pookie.
saw me, when you saw me at the carnival, Shanti, see, he just said it. The brother's releasing past stress.
Yeah.
When he saw me at the carnival, I don't know if you remember that, Pook. When at the carnival in Columbia, South Carolina, my ex-wife was, things was on the rocks with me.
You done said it now. Sure, you might as well say it.
Things was on the rocks with me when you saw me at that thing. I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry, we letting it out now. But you said something very valuable. We spend money on what we want. And right now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I hear people in South Carolina talk about, certain areas are bad with mental health. They're not that strong. Maybe we got to go a little bit further. The same way we drive out 2 hours to go to our outlet and stuff like that.
Say that.
We may have to go. South Carolina's close to North Carolina. Get on Zoom with somebody in North
I was about
Carolina.
to say it's no excuse because we are virtual. We're in a
Yeah,
technology
I don't care.
driven world right now. You can go
Yeah,
virtual. A lot of therapists and coaches and clients do virtual. So you don't have an
yeah.
excuse.
So we use the social media. We could have
Exactly.
used Zoom. We could have used on our next one. You and I we gonna plan a day. We're gonna use Facebook. We're gonna use Instagram. I don't know if I can do TikTok live. Y'all gotta show me. And YouTube. I'll go live with all three. You know what I mean? But uh, but people need this money out there. The same way that excuse me, when my therapist left, and it was going to cost me $90 or $95 as a copay, and that was, listen, that was from my income, and I didn't have a big income. You know, I told him just about what I get from disability, and he was like, and when he told me what it was going to be, I was like, because he didn't get the email, he didn't get the scan, so I said, look, Edward, this is what I get. And then he talked to somebody in the office, and it was like, it's going to be this. I was like, for what I get with disability here, and seeing you once a week, I'm like, you taking up a lot of that money, Chief. It's expensive to live in New York. You know what I mean? You can't tell me you can live in New York. Anybody New Yorkers out there listening, you can't live off of New York with $1,000 a month.
No.
A room is about 1,100 a month. Oh, listen,
Wow.
look at me. Look at my black face. A room.
Wow. A
Sharing a
room.
bathroom is $1,000. A room. But that's another story. It's money out there.
Yeah.
See somebody, y'all. See somebody. See, that's what I needed at the beginning of the interview. Because now I'm feeling it now. Like, people got to see somebody. You know, I miss therapy right now today because it was a Jewish holiday Monday and Tuesday. And my clinic is in the
Okay.
we was Wednesday. I booked Wednesday at 5:30 last week, but I booked us 6 o'clock. So I'm trying to get all my props together. The balloons, the shea butter, and I completely forgot.
Hey,
I
baby.
thank God for my therapist. She texted me.
Yeah. Come on.
I said, come on. What is that? What is it?
She coming here to feed me. What's oh? Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. What she say?
That's Malik.
Listen, I'm so happy. Listen, you was raining. I'm not gonna open it up in the house. You know, but you rained some information. I'm gonna let you, not let you. I want you to eat your dinner. Listen, y'all. Please order her book. Quiet as kept. You will not be able to put it down. You go to the sauna at your gym like I do. You'll be reading it in the sauna. You'll be reading it in the park. Let me tell you something. Yours was the second book that I finished for this year. I'm so proud of myself.
Congratulations.
Next week I'm interviewing a young lady who graduated from the South Carolina State University, located in the beautiful city of Orangeburg, South Carolina. I have to big up my university. I'm interviewing her. She has the same credentials that you have. It's you know what it's gonna be like? It's gonna be like interviewing the same person, but dark skin. Courtney's dark skin, and Courtney's a coach like you. So, well, you'll see the interview. I want to tell too much. I want people to be surprised and ready. But you know, you guys have helped me to get my stuff together, to get my book together. Like how I'm gonna tell something, y'all. Don't get mad at me, but Shanti cusses in the book.
Yes, I do.
And I was shocked. I told Shanti Monday, I was like, when I was reading this sort of curses, I was like, did anybody else see this? I'm looking around, I'm scared, like, did anybody else see this? I mean, come on, I'm 52 years old. I cuss, you know what I mean? And I'm like, wait a minute, you know? But it grabbed me and got my attention. My friend book, you know, this is your interview, but her book was a little bit different than yours. She had her journal in the book. So when I told her I finished, she was like, Malik, you finished? And I said, wait now, Courtney. I finished it, but I didn't do each step. I answered like one part, but I kept reading. You know what I mean? I got so many different things, like affirmations that you have and stuff like that. I got so many different things. So, again, 4 books. Telling the Truth book. Get life examples, just like Courtney book, just like the sisters, these sisters from my church, they'll be next. It's 5 of them. It's 5 of them that got together and wrote a book. So I don't know how I'm gonna pull them all together. Yeah, and each of them told the story. And I lost track of the time finishing it in the park today. When I walked from my house to the park, it was I took a different way, so it was like almost 2 miles. And I sat down and couldn't put it down until I finished it. And then I'm like, dang, acknowledgments. So I said, I read the acknowledgments. I read the acknowledgments. And I even, like how I track you down there. Why did I track you down? Everything's right there. You just ordered it. Yo, I even sent the tip, too. I don't know if you noticed. I did a tip with the book when I opened it. I like that. I got to put that with
Thank
my
you.
book.
Yes, do
It
do
wasn't a
do
lot.
that.
It was enough to get a bagel. But you saw it. Like, you did a little tip thing
I
or whatever.
did.
Um,
It takes a
Thank
lot.
you.
I accept tips. I do. I like tacos.
Come on now. Some nice tacos, y'all. Listen, I thank you. Is there anything else you want to tell the people? I'm sorry.
No, other than, mental health is very important. And we all have mental health, and it's up to us, it's up to you to take care of your mental health. You're responsible for you. And how can you be any
Amen.
good to yourself, to anybody else, if you're not good to yourself? Be good to yourself. Take
Amen.
care of your mental health. The same way you're trying to get
Amen.
that summer body, get that mental right.
And I can't stand that. You out here ready for the summer. You got to get ready for everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just the summer.
Yeah, but
It's
I
not
mean,
just the
that's the
summer.
reality though. People are more concerned with their outside. It's okay to be concerned with what you look like, but what that mind do? What that heart look like?
Come on now. Come
That's
on.
that's where, we come in at. I don't care about what you look like. I care about your mind and your heart. Get
Amen.
get that right and
Amen.
it'll
Let
shine
me tell you.
through. When you're good on the
You
inside, you're
sound like
good on the outside.
my therapist just there because I said something one time. Remember I told you when I went on that rant and I was cursing and crying. I said something, but she wasn't worried about that. She just wanted
No.
to listen. She
Yeah.
just wanted to listen.
Yes.
And that helped me that day. That really
Yes.
helped me.
Sometimes
What's
that's
this right? I've been for the man section. Wait, everything in the store nowadays made for the skinny man. But do
You
you
know
see that?
what? That's your sign to create your own line.
Who's that?
That's Pookie. Pookie,
Oh my bad.
go
You
create
know
your
what?
own
I
line.
forgot Pookie gained weight. I forgot because Pookie used to be slim, but we was
Well,
next
hell,
time we
I
saw
think
her.
we all was slim back in our former life, but stuff happens. Okay, Pookie, go create your own line. You know what you want, you know what you're
A
looking
lot of
for.
people
Go
did.
create your own line.
That's right. Just like I made this T-shirt. Therapy is dope. Let me tell you something. We got to get out of here, but let me tell you. When I fly, when I go, I'll admit most of the time I'm just going to South Carolina, and I wear a shirt with therapy is dope. I'm supposed to have a QR code. I'm supposed to have forget my tablet and some books and stuff. I'm supposed to have small, medium, large, extra large. Let me tell you, even when I used to go back and forth to Baltimore taking mommy to go see our cousins, I go to the rest stop because I got to go to the bathroom all the time. Pause and too much information.
That's
And
fine. I do too.
Caucasians love it.
Yes.
Caucasians love it
Yep.
because they understand we have to love therapy just like all other races.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
We have to the same way we love um, nice cars, nice hairdos, nice clothes. We like you said, we have to take care of our inside
Yeah.
the same way we take care of our outside. I
Exactly.
think we should end on that note. What you think?
That's good enough for me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
No, thank you. I thank you're welcome, but I thank you for taking the time out. Number one, I thank you for trusting me
Of
because you don't know
course.
me from the chewing gum on the ground. I could have been some stalker, some dude that like Amazon light skinned women. I could have been that. But you know what I love when you say in the message that you was happy that I read the book
Yeah.
because people support you, but you don't get the feedback about that. And I was giving you. Remember you at one point you said.
Yes.
Finish the book. They're going to do the interview. Remember, I was like, yo, let's do. I hype my kid.
You was
You was
taking
like,
pictures everywhere you was with the book. I'm reading it. I'm reading it. This happened. Okay. We got to do an interview. Finish the book, and I'll give you an interview. So thank you for reading the book. I appreciate it.
and when you said finish the book like that, just that, Lord, you was looking like my mother. My mother was just a little bit like you. And when you went like that, like finish the book. Lord, you reminded me of my mother just then. You went like
we giving this to?
It's on you. You got a question or people still in the chat? Because you can see more than I can see.
Let's see.
It's far away from me. Pook, I see Brother Reggie.
Pookie got a line to do.
Say it again.
I say Pookie got a clothing line to design. Since he don't like the clothes. Let's see. Patrice Walker.
Let's sit right here. You give it Patrice Walker?
Patrice Walker, yeah.
All right, well, she gets it. She gets the Mother's Day gift.
Yeah, and I will include a copy of my book.
Oh, come on now. I'm not hating. I had to buy mine, but you...
And you're going to have to buy the next one too, brother.
Listen, I think I found... Trace that, Miss Walker, Mrs. Walker, you're the winner of a Mother's Day gift and Quiet as Kept.
Yep.
And I'm just going to
Quiet
let you
as
know,
Kept.
the value of this book supersedes this Mother's Day gift. But I'm going to leave it at that, because this goes past Mother's Day. You feel me? Quiet as Kept is, let me tell you, I'm going to have my 4 books, and when I start going live in different places, and my book's going to be behind me. You know how people, when they got their library, I'm going to have my 4 books right there and keep going and keep, I'm going to have my journal from you, my other journals from the other books and stuff. I'm getting ready. You are changing my life. You changed my life. You're enhancing me with my advocacy with mental health. I got my 2 certificates, the juvenile one and the adult one of the mental health. I'm certified as CPR now. I'm gonna do the what's the thing when they fall out from the fentanyl? I got a class with that.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, that's dope.
You to carry a pen. So look, I'm gonna have some acronyms beside my name, beside the.
You better come on acronyms. And you know what? When I say you better come on acronyms, but when you finish your book, I'm gonna interview you. I'm going to buy your book, and I'm going to interview you.
Thank you. So you know what that mean, right? You know what that mean, right?
Get in that book.
Negro, write your book.
Yeah, write your book.
Stop playing and write your book.
Stop playing.
Amen.
There's too many people out here who need to hear your story. You need to go ahead and write your book.
Exactly. Just instead of just bits and pieces on social media, it's a lot of people that need to see this 52-year-old man from Brooklyn, New York, who claims Orangeburg, South Carolina, who went through suicide, who went through isolation, who's going through lupus, congestive heart failure, neuropathy, lonely P. God gonna bless you with somebody.
God gonna bless you.
But I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. I got about $4. I got some chicken I gotta unthaw. I'm good. The food stamps come Monday. Hey!
Hallelujah. I wish I got some. Shit. The way these food prices.
Exactly. It's rough.
Yes.
Trust me, I do it right. I get this. Just listen. Let me tell you what I do. I'm telling the people food stamps what to do. South Campus all day, that's right. So, fall 1992, I stayed at South Campus, and I got caught with a girl there, but the director didn't throw me out. That's another story. But you know what I do with my food stamps? Let me tell these people. Other people get way more than what I do, but Shanti, you know how I had money that made it all the way through month to month? I didn't buy no junk with my food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Yo, you can buy Little Debbie's cakes, ice cream. Listen, when I go through my little junk phase, I'm like, hold up, bring that up. And then if ShopRite got what's the name, 2 for $7, that ice cream is not healthy. You know what I mean? So
right.
And I've spent $17 on junk. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the month, I'm like, oh, I got $47 left. Because I didn't buy no junk food with my food stamps. How we go from mental health to food stamps? So to get some rest, how we gonna do the book? You gonna get there? You want me to get her information or?
I'm messaging her right now. So, Miss Patrice, I'm messaging you right now for your mailing address so I can send you a copy of Quiet as Kept. And congratulations.
And send it to me. When you get it, send it to me so I can ship her the Mother's Day
Okay.
gift. Now look, they got mental health tips. Somebody got a book. Somebody got a Mother's Day gift. They only get this from Shanti Refuge and Malik Sherrod.
Right?
Listen, you get your rest. You got work to do. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry. May 15th, right?
May 15th, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Go to the link in my bio and you register to come and hear me talk.
I'm going to be there. I was a chat, so I'm going to be like, yo, that's my girl. Come
It is free, so you don't have no excuses, everybody. It's free. Come in the room.
No debit card,
no nothing. Nope. You just sign up. Just register.
And listen, I love free stuff. One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where I got all that information from, those 2 certificates, I got off of Eventbrite from Friendship Baptist Church, 92 Herkimer Street in Brooklyn, y'all. Go to Eventbrite, you'll find events. I got both certificates from there. Last week they also did prostate testing. I didn't make it Friendship Baptist. If y'all watch it, I apologize. After the class that I took, where I wanted, where I fit in ministry, I went out with some of them. I told you I was only male in that class. I went to brunch with them, and
it was over.
Just,
it was over. Brunch around a bunch of women. That's it.
Beautiful, intelligent women too. Not just you pay for my food. Everybody paid for their own food, and we had a ball. Shanti, get your rest, sweetheart.
Thank you.
We will talk. I'll check in because we got to do this again on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Okay. All right. And Miss Patrice Walker, I just sent you a DM.
Okay. I want to get all the out together too. Remember I told you the other 2 ladies?
Yes.
Who are the journal? Like we got all the squares, and we get to you can answer questions, she can answer a question, you can.
I'm here for that.
I love you.
I love you. Good night.
Good night, sweetheart. Have a good evening, okay?
All right, you too. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
All right, you go out. I'm gonna run my mouth.
All right, y'all. He wore me out. Ooh, I'll be back later. Thanks for watching.